How long does it take to form an opinion about someone? A minute or just a few seconds? And what if those quick judgments shape more than we realize?
Our next speaker believes who we become is shaped in quiet, unseen moments through discipline and resilience. A trained ballet dancer of 10 years and a participant at Harvard Model United Nations, Anushka Bhandari brings a unique perspective on focus and expression.
In her talk, she explores the powerful 7 seconds in which we form judgments about others, inviting us to rethink how these instant decisions can shape our world.
Please join us in welcoming Anushka Bhandari to the TEDx stage. Anushka, the stage is yours.
In the 7 seconds that it took for me to walk onto the stage, you've already run a complete background check on me. You've decided whether I'm smart, punctual, kind, or the exact opposite. You've decided whether I'm someone worth listening to, or whether what I'm about to say is going to be fascinating or boring. And the most interesting part is, I haven't even said anything yet. Good morning. My name is Anushka Bhandari, and today I will be talking about the psychology of first impressions. This is how our minds work. We form opinions so quickly, often before we are even consciously doing it. Psychologists call this thin slicing, making confident judgments with almost no information at all. And once upon a time, it made complete sense. It wasn't just a phenomenon, it was a survival skill. Thousands of years ago, our brain had to answer one question only. Is this safe or is this a threat? A split-second hesitation could cost you your life. So, our brains evolved. They learned how to judge, how to assume, how to categorize. But now, we're no longer dealing with predators. We're walking into classrooms, we're going for interviews. But still, within seconds, we're forming opinions based on how someone looks, how they sound, how confident they seem, and even where they choose to sit. These micro judgments are not just constant, they're automatic, and they happen mostly without our permission. But the stakes are higher than we realize it. Because it's not just how these oppressions are formed, it's also about activating something deeper. Stereotypes and unconscious beliefs about entire groups of people based on race, how they look like, where they're from. Think about it like this. If a student from another school is entering for the very first time, people have already assumed how he's like before he's even had a chance to introduce himself. A student using a wheelchair has entered the hallway for the very first time. People have already assumed what he can do, what he can't do, what they need help in, and he hasn't even had a chance to communicate his needs. A student from a different country speaks with a slight accent. People have already assumed if he's smart enough, whether he belongs here or not, and he hasn't even had a chance to answer a question. These are not just harmless first impressions. Researchers call this stereotypical threats. The mere awareness that a negative stereotype against the group exists can hamper your performance, make it harder to focus, and makes it feel like you just don't belong. And once these impressions are formed, we hold on to it tightly. We notice things that confirm it and overlook the things we don't. This is known as confirmation bias. For instance, if you thought when I walked onto stage I was confident, my pauses, my body language may feel calm and intentional. But if you thought that I was nervous, those same body language and pauses may be filled with nervousness or uncertainty. But this is not the entire problem. Our opinions are not neutral. They've been filtered through what we see, what we hear, the media we consume, the stories we've grown up with, and the biases we've inherited. But it's not just about how these impressions are formed. It's also about how we let them influence every single stage of our lives. First impressions are not just not accurate, they're simply quick. They rely on mental shortcuts, what we've seen before, what we hear, what we feel familiar, and what we expect. They might feel easy in the moment, but it also means that we regularly misread people. We see a version of themselves built within seconds, often distorted by biases. Discrimination doesn't start from active hatred. It starts right here, in these moments, where we misinterpret people, where we apply different standards, and we let stereotypes color what we see. For example, if a student is walking and raising his hand in class, do we think that they're intelligent and thoughtful? If they don't, the same idea can be dismissed without a second thought. The same contribution has two completely different values. If a student with a stutter is speaking in class, do we listen patiently? Do we let them finish their sentences? Or do we quietly decide what they have to say is not important? The same person trying to communicate has been treated in two completely different ways. And this is where first impressions lead to discrimination. Not in one large dramatic moment, but in the small, quiet ones stacked up on each other, where we let our biases shape and see how we treat people every single day. But here's what matters. We may not be able to stop these impressions from being formed, but we can absolutely choose what we do next. Take a moment and ask yourself a question. What if I'm wrong about this person? That can genuinely change the way you connect with somebody. Next time you find yourself making a snap judgment, that is the moment where you have to change differently. Instead of assuming that someone is unfriendly, they might just be shy. And that shift of perspective from judgment to a little bit of openness is what's most important. I walked onto this stage 8 minutes ago. In the first 7 seconds, you had made an assumption about me. You may have been right or you may have been wrong. But here's what I hope. I hope within the last few minutes, whatever I have said has made you reconsider that very old version of me. But because here's what's important. You are not your first impression and neither is anyone else. So the next time you walk into the room, give it a little bit more thought. First impressions may be quick, but they do not have to be final. Thank you.